So I wanted to make a quick video about Venus in Scorpio. This is, again, one of my placements. Mine is conjunct Pluto as well. So I think it adds a little bit more intensity to the placement itself. But anybody who's got Venus in Scorpio, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So a lot of the Venus conjunct Pluto, Venus in any aspect of Pluto is very similar to the energy of Venus in Scorpio. So the thing is with Venus in Scorpio, Venus is a lot to do with how we love and how we receive love and our self-worth. And Scorpio is all about power. And what I've noticed with the Venus in Scorpio energy is that there's a strong sense of pride in love. And I think a lot of the times this gets misunderstood as jealousy. And it's more about when you let somebody in, because Scorpio feels everything so deeply. When you let somebody in love, you're it's not so much that you want to control the individual, but you're allowing that individual to have access to your heart, your thoughts and feelings. So you don't want to be damaged by that. So you're really putting a huge amount of trust in an individual when you let them in. And it's more about, with Venus and Scorpio, that there's a sort of like hypervigilance to having, to being wounded. And so when a partner is not matching up what they do and what they say, it can trigger in the Venus and Scorpio individual these thoughts of, well, what's actually happening here? And that could get misconstrued as jealousy. And it's more about self-protection than it is about control of another person. This sense of power, it can draw you towards people who have got problems, who have got issues when they're in their own psyche which they haven't resolved. And it's about a rawness. So we're attracted to raw individuals because it's real. Venus in Scorpio does not like the superficial. It can't do the surface level. And if you come across someone with Venus in Scorpio who's doing that, there's something else going on there which they're trying to avoid. Maybe it's a previous hurt. And this is the thing with this energy. It's something to work through. Every time you get a really, really strong emotional reaction to something, take note of that, because that's like your barometer for a bit of work that you need to do on yourself. It can be an incredible energy when you work through the negatives. It can go to the highest highs of love, almost unconditional, compassionate love, because it can be completely loyal and devoted. And again, this is where this idea of jealousy comes in, but it's more about pride. If you know you're giving 110% of yourself in a relationship, you kind of expect that back. When it's higher, when the Scorpio energy is more evolved, you give and you don't expect back. But then naturally you get it back anyway in other means, because you're not depending on it, you're not searching for it in that sense. I think it's an energy that is it's not promiscuous by any means, but it needs physical intimacy. And intimacy is not always just about sex. Intimacy is about connection with another person. And the connection can only be there to the level in which you've met yourself, and to the level which that individual has met themselves. So when choosing partners, Venus and Scorpio, just be aware of the fact that the individual that you're with is going to be completely changed by you, and vice versa. Pluto is the planet of transformation. So whatever it touches will be transformed, for good or for bad. Ultimately, when you're going through that process, good can come from that, as long as you learn from it. So your relationships are a way in which you evolve. And if you're not prepared for that, it's going to happen anyway. So just be aware that when you're choosing partners, that there's a process that you're both going to go through. um, and it can be very healing, but it can also be very damaging. Initially, it reopens old wounds, and so relationships should be as much about a reflection of you as they are a reflection of the other person. That's all I'm going to say for now. Venus and Scorpio. I will produce another video because this is a fascinating aspect. But this is just my musings as I was listening to some music in the car, and it inspired me because I was listening to some lyrics that I thought, wow, that's someone who's very Venus and Scorpio. That's kind of dark and passionate and painful. So I will bring another video out soon.